Hi, I'm Emily. Today I'll share a story about my sister's outrageous wedding demands. Titled, My Sister Sent Me a Wedding Gift List of 5 Luxury Items, Condo, Car, and More. I chose the cheapest, but she texted, pick all 5 or don't come. I said okay, then canceled everything. My name is Claire Thompson, and I'm 43, living in a quiet suburb outside Seattle, Washington. 6 months ago, my husband, Michael, passed away after a 2-year battle with cancer. He was 58, 15 years my senior, but we had a solid marriage. We met when I was 21, working as a barista in a downtown coffee shop, and married within a year. Michael was a tech entrepreneur who built a successful software company, amassing a small fortune. When Michael got sick, I left my marketing job to care for him. Those years were brutal. Watching the man I loved slip away was unbearable. He passed at home, in our cozy bedroom overlooking Puget Sound, holding my hand. After the funeral, I learned the extent of his estate. A sprawling house in Bellevue, a sleek condo in downtown Seattle we rented out, a cabin in the Cascade Mountains for weekend getaways, 2 cars, a Tesla and a BMW, and $1.8 million in savings and investments. I decided to stay in our Bellevue home, too many memories to leave behind. The downtown condo I plan to give to my son, Ethan, when he graduates college. Ethan's 20, studying computer science at UCLA, a bright kid with his dad's knack for problem solving. Remarriage, not for me. Michael was my one and only, and I'm content keeping his memory close. To honor him, I donated a chunk of money to a cancer research nonprofit. I also returned to work part-time, doing freelance marketing for a sustainable clothing brand. It keeps me busy without overwhelming me, since Michael's estate means I don't need to work. But staying home all day just made me miss him more. Then, last month, my parents called. Claire, we need to talk about something important, Mom said, her voice tinny on speakerphone with Dad chiming in. It's about Sophie. Sophie's my younger sister, 33, the family's golden child, charming, spoiled, never had to hustle. She's getting married next summer, and we hoped you could help with the wedding. Help how? I asked, already wary. Financially, Dad said. Weddings are pricey, and Sophie and her fiancé, Ryan, are just starting out. I sighed, promising to call Sophie and see what she needed. When I called, Sophie was bubbling with excitement. Claire, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. Did Mom and Dad tell you about the wedding? She launched into her vision. A lavish ceremony at a swanky vineyard in Napa Valley, 250 guests. A $5,000 designer gown from a boutique in San Francisco. A live band, gourmet catering, the works. She rambled for 20 minutes, flowers, photographers, vintage cars, custom invitations. Sophie, I interrupted, that sounds amazing, but do you know how much this would cost? Not exactly, she said, but you've got all that money now, right? There it was. I took a deep breath. Sophie, you're talking about $150,000, maybe more. That's not realistic. But Claire, you can afford it. Michael left you so much. It's not about what I can afford. A wedding shouldn't cost more than a house deposit. She went quiet, then asked, so how much will you give me? I thought it over. $60,000, that's my gift for your wedding. You, Ryan, or his parents can cover the rest. She wasn't thrilled, but muttered a thank you and hung up. The next day, I opened a separate bank account, transferred $60,000, and added Sophie as an authorized user. At Sunday dinner at my parents' house in Tacoma, I made it clear. Sophie, I've set up $60,000 for your wedding. That's my gift to you and Ryan. My parents exchanged glances. Sophie nodded, unimpressed. Ryan, a quiet accountant, seemed surprised she hadn't told him the amount. That's generous, Claire, Dad said, but his tone hinted he expected more. I held firm. It's more than most get for a wedding. Dinner was tense. Sophie poked at her food, and Mom shot me disappointed looks. I ignored them. $60,000 was plenty for a beautiful wedding. If they wanted Napa Valley extravagance, they'd need to figure it out. Life went back to normal. I worked, attended cancer nonprofit meetings, and had weekly Zoom calls with Ethan. He was thriving at UCLA, joining a coding club and crushing on a classmate. Work was light, and my boss, Rachel, let me set my own hours. The nonprofit was my passion. Raising funds for cancer research felt like a way to keep Michael's spirit alive. Then one rainy Tuesday morning, an email from Sophie arrived. Wedding gift list. My stomach sank. I'd already given her $60,000. What more could she want? The email listed 5 items. The Seattle condo, the Tesla, the Cascade cabin, Michael's vintage Omega watch, and a 3-week honeymoon in Hawaii. The condo alone was worth $600,000. The cabin, more. The watch was meant for Ethan, a keepsake from his dad. I was floored. Sophie was asking for nearly $1 million in gifts. I wanted to scream but stayed calm. I picked the cheapest option, the Hawaii honeymoon, about $20,000. I replied, "Sophie, I've given you $60,000 for the wedding. I'll also cover the Hawaii trip. That's my final offer." I sent it, expecting that to settle things. 10 minutes later, her reply, "That's not how this works, Claire. I need all 5, not 1. You have so much and I have nothing." I stared, stunned. She expected me to hand over half of Michael's legacy. I called her. "What's wrong with you?" I snapped. "You're asking for $1 million in gifts. It's not crazy," she shot back. "You've got the condo, the cabin, 2 cars, the watch, all that money. What do you need it for? You're not remarrying." "I have a son, Sophie. Ethan gets the condo and the watch. It's his inheritance. But I'm getting married. This is my big moment and I can't afford anything nice. You've got $60,000. If you want more, pay for it yourself." Silence. Then coldly, "Fine, give me all 5 or don't come to my wedding." "Are you giving me an ultimatum? Take it or leave it. All 5 or you're not welcome." "Sophie, I'm funding your wedding," she laughed. "It's not even your money, Claire. You just got lucky when your sick husband died. The least you can do is share with family instead of being selfish." I hung up, shaking, calling Michael my sick husband and saying I was lucky he died. Unforgivable. He fought cancer with everything he had. Furious, I opened my banking app, revoked Sophie's access to the $60,000 account, and canceled every wedding payment. Venue, caterer, florist, photographer, all of it. I turned off my phone, knowing the fallout was coming. I went to my backyard garden, a project Michael and I started years ago, and spent hours pruning roses to calm down. The next morning, my phone showed 40 missed calls and 30 texts, mostly from Sophie, some from my parents. Sophie's messages escalated from panic. "The planner says the deposits are canceled." To rage, "You're a vindictive jerk." My parents called me unreasonable. I deleted everything and went to a nonprofit meeting, ignoring their calls. That evening, cars pulled into my driveway, Sophie, Ryan, and my parents. Sophie stormed in using a key she had from house sitting. "What the hell, Claire?" she screamed. My parents followed, furious. "Claire Marie, fix this now," Mom demanded. "Fix what?" I said calmly. "The account," Sophie yelled. "My wedding's in 3 months and you ruined it. You ruined it when you insulted Michael. You called him my sick husband and said I was lucky he died." Sophie faltered, then doubled down. "I was upset. You were being stingy. You know about her gift list?" I asked my parents. "Of course," Mom said. "I helped her write it. You've had it good, Claire. It's Sophie's turn." I felt gut-punched. My responsibility. To give away my home, my car, my husband's watch? "Sophie deserves a nice wedding," Dad said. "You've got plenty to share." I looked at them, standing in the home Michael and I built, demanding his legacy. "Get out," I said. "I'm done. No more money, no account access, and I'm not coming to the wedding." Sophie sobbed. "You're jealous because I'm getting married and you'll be alone forever. Out now or I call the police." I dialed 911. They left. The harassment didn't stop. Aunts, uncles, cousins called saying I was selfish, family comes first. I tried explaining to my cousin Linda, but she sided with Sophie. "You've got all that money, Claire. Be generous." I stopped answering calls. Then the worst happened. Ethan called, upset. "Mom, Grandma called me. She said if I don't convince you to help Sophie, she'll disown me and won't pay for college." I was livid. "Ethan, I'm paying for your college. Grandma has no say. She's dragging you into this mess." I told him everything. Sophie's list, her cruel words about Michael, my parents' involvement. Ethan listened, then said, "Mom, if they disown me over this, I don't want them in my life. Dad would be proud of you." His words healed something in me. At 20, he had more integrity than my entire family. "I love you, Ethan." "Love you too, Mom." 3 months passed. I poured myself into work and the nonprofit, organizing a gala for cancer research. Ethan and I talked weekly. He was thriving, even went on a date with his crush. The family stopped calling after a month, finally getting the hint. My life was quieter, and I was okay with that. In June, I scrolled through social media and saw Sophie's wedding photos, not at Napa, but a modest backyard ceremony at my parents' Tacoma home. She looked happy, but I felt nothing. They'd crossed a line, and I was done carrying their weight.